After all the Republican sniping about how President Obama's recovery package was not working, for our third story in the countdown, there's encouraging economic news and a wildly successful car incentive program. The president today, citing better than expected GDP numbers, told reporters that the U.S. economy is finally headed in the right direction, but added that his main concern is still jobs, jobs, and more jobs.
As far as I'm concerned, we won't have a recovery as long as we keep losing jobs. And I will not rest until every American who wants a job can find one.
Also today, the House voted to inject another $2 billion into the government-bashed Cash for Clunkers program. The Senate is expected to follow next week. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell takes a look at the stimulus program, so successful that it nearly went broke.
Today, with unusual speed, Congress found another $2 billion to keep new car sales coming.
The A's are 316 and
a rushed vote after the unexpected announcement last night that the popular new car incentive program, Cash for Clunkers, was out of cash. Today, the president said it had exceeded all expectations.
It's working so well that there are legitimate concerns that the funds in this program might soon be exhausted.
Concern that had top White House officials scrambling.
I can tell you there's a flurry of activity this morning, working with the agencies, working with Congress to make sure that there's the funds for it.
The plan? Move money already set aside for a different project, renewable energy research, and use it now to extend Cash for Clunkers.
We're working that through. The program's going to continue.
The program gives consumers up to $4,500 to buy a new, more fuel-efficient car when they trade in an old gas guzzler. Officials expected 250,000 new cars would be sold, but were stunned the demand drained the program in less than a week. So today, the House tripled the size of Cash for Clunkers. And notably, both Democrats and Republicans voted for it.
Finally, we have a bailout, not for the big businesses, not for Wall Street, but a bailout for Main Street.
It is the one thing that we have done here in this Congress that is absolutely working.
This is a win-win-win for our country. It's one of the great programs to create jobs.
Most of the naysayers are even admitting that it's the best $1 billion in economic stimulus funds that the federal government has ever spent.
But there are critics who argue taxpayers have already done too much, especially for the auto industry.
Maybe we should have a Cash for Clunkers program and pay people to eat chicken. Then after that, we can have a program to pay people to buy TVs, and then a program to pay people to buy lumber.
Well, if we can't pay people to buy TVs, let's bring in Democratic strategist Chris Kofinas. Chris, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you, Richard.
The Cash for Clunkers program was so successful that it ran out of money in a week. How badly did the administration need to show the country this tangible example of a stimulus success?
Well, you know, I think we've had tangible examples of the stimulus success in terms of saving jobs, whether those were teachers, police officers, or firemen. I think you've had other examples where jobs were created, whether those were construction or green jobs. I think what was so great about this program was how dramatic it was. A program that was supposed to last months ran out of money in literally days. And I think that just shows what a great program, not only in terms of creating an incentive for people to trade in old cars for more fuel-efficient cars, but to spur that demand. And I'll tell you the other, I think, key point that a lot of people are talking about is just psychologically, this is what this country needed. 70% of our GDP is consumer spending. It's motivated by people waking up one day and saying, I want to buy a car. And what they saw by this great program is other people wanting to buy a car. And I think that just creates more demand. It's just a really powerful sign for the Obama administration.
As you know, the bill has just passed the House, the new bill, but there are big roadblocks ahead in the Senate. John McCain says he'll filibuster. So do you think Majority Leader Harry Reid can actually push this through?
I think he can push it through. You know, I'll tell you, I'll never completely understand, some Republicans like John McCain who are opposed to this program.